Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time we're talking episode 7 of season 4 of Legend of Korra called Reunion. And this is the episode where we finally get to see Korra back in Republic City. She starts I wouldn't say exactly rebuilding Team Korra, but more like reconnecting with them. And I do like how in the episode they even kind of point that out, that Korra bickering and arguing with her friends while still managing to kick butt and save the day is kind of par for the course for them. So let's just kind of get right into things. And since that's what we started talking about, let's go and talk about the Republic City crew. Again, there's not a really huge amount to say about the things here. Asami reacts poorly when she thinks Korra is criticizing her, and Mako does kind of the same thing. But again, like we said, this is just really sort of par for the course with them. But we do see them, getting back in shape, going out and saving Prince Wu, and we do see that Korra at this point does seem to be fairly comfortable with using her spiritual abilities to tap into the spirit world and all that. Although why exactly she didn't do that upon immediately arriving at the train station in order to locate Prince Wu, rather than wasting time running around just sort of checking trains manually, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, of course, there's the question of why does Kuvira want Prince Wu captured? Well, one, Prince Wu is the person who has the backing of the rest of the world leaders, and he is legally the legitimate heir to the throne. So by getting her hands on him, Kuvira basically takes a serious bargaining chip, or a serious weapon, I guess I'd say is probably a better point, out of the hands of her enemies. If she controls Prince Wu, then they can't use him against her. They can't back him as the legitimate heir. There's nowhere else for their power to go. I mean, they could maybe pluck somebody out of thin air, but they would have even less backing than Prince Wu would. And I can't imagine that he would last too awful long in Kuvira's care. She'd probably find some trumped up reason to execute him as a way of sending a message that, the monarchy is dead. Long live the empress. So, yeah. Now, as for Prince Wu himself, now this episode does continue to show that he himself is growing as a character. I mean, yes, he's kind of a goofball, and he, of course, is horribly inappropriate when he's hitting on Korra. But, however, he does seem to we continue to see that he genuinely values Mako's friendship. He does try to be polite. He's certainly not. He is at times inappropriate, but he is being polite to them the rest of the time. He's very polite to Mako's family, and he is genuinely grateful for them saving his life. So the thing about Prince Wu is that he does seem to, as we saw in that episode with him having that breakdown, he does admit to his flaws and seems to be at least a little bit improving. He's not looking down on the people around him, really. He still kind of expects some certain amount of deference, as makes sense for a guy from his background. But again, when we see him meet Mako's family, he's very charming and polite, and looks like he's going to get along well with them. And I think him spending some time with an ordinary Earth Kingdom family would really give him quite a bit of insight into just what the real problems are. And that could also kind of get him to start thinking about, well, if I am able to reclaim the throne, what am I going to do about that? So I guess you can sort of look at Mako's family as potentially people who might be able to, show Prince Wu some examples of just how things really are out there outside of the very pampered environment that he originally comes from. So I think we're going to get to see some interesting stuff there. Now, moving on to what's going on with Bolin and Varric. Well, again, here we see Varric continuing to show off his two major skills. One, that he really knows how to manipulate people, and two, that he's really brilliant. I mean, he basically MacGyvers an EMP field out of a generator and a table with using nothing but a screwdriver. And if you don't know what MacGyvering means, that I take it that you are simply unfamiliar with the show MacGyver, and I feel terribly, terribly sorry for you because MacGyver was an absolutely great show. I love MacGyver. Anyway, we also see that Varric's talking about his conscience and all that. That wasn't a one-off thing. This is a legitimate change to his character. Of course, we also see that he does sort of have a tendency to want to boss people around and to expect the finer things in life. But hey, nobody's perfect. Now, as for Bolin, now this episode is a really strong episode for him. One, we see him continuing to show that he's really tops at being a lava bender. This episode, we also see him demonstrating some serious leadership skills of all things. That's not really something we would have normally expected from Bolin. And we also see that his, general good nature is a very strong asset for him. When he's dealing with the fugitives, I guess is the proper word. He tries to he tries reasoning with them. He's polite, he's logical, and at the end of it, he goes back to save them and is very grateful for their help. And he even apologizes to them for what they've suffered on behalf of Kuvira's military, which again just shows Bolin's good nature as a character, but it also reminds us that militaries are not hive minds. There are both good people and bad people within them, and that good people can get caught up in the machinations of bad people and not even realize what it is that they've signed up for until it's too late. And once you're in a situation like that, you also find yourself in a situation kind of like Bolin, where if you do speak out against what's going on, there is a chance that you might get yourself thrown into a prison or a camp or something, or just in a lot of places flat out shot. But of course, the fact that Bolin did stand up for that, and did Varric, is again testaments that they are at their heart good people. And let's see. Yeah, I think that kind of covers everything that's going on there. We also briefly get to see Boomy and the Airbenders. Boomy, as people have noted, seems to have slimmed down a little bit, which is cool. And I do like that Tenzin realizes that they're going to have to start working on some kind of a political solution to this. This is definitely not a situation where Korra can just go and have another bending battle with Kuvira, and if she wins, then so much for the Earth Empire. This is going to be a situation where she's basically going to have to discredit Kuvira. She's really going to have to find a way to publicly demonstrate that Kuvira is full of it and really no better than the people that she has basically overthrown. Which kind of leads me to the idea that Kuvira will probably end up getting thrown in jail or something, and that Prince Wu would take the throne, but institute it so that the Earth Kingdom becomes kind of a constitutional monarchy like the UK is. And I know I'm not the only person who's thrown that idea out there. Just sort of looking at the story and understanding that this is a show that is going to end on a happy ending, because this isn't a dark show like that. That's just something that makes logical sense. Not a huge amount to say about what's going on there at the very end with Batar and them chopping down the banyan tree in the swamp. Although I can't really imagine that Toph is going to stand for that. So that would be a really great way for her to make her entrance onto the wider stage, come back to Republic City, strap on the armor again, and show the youngins what's what. And again, this would be a really nice way to open the door to having Katara and Zuko and his daughter turn up. I mean, just the idea of Zuko, Katara, Toph, and Tenzin going out there and helping save the day. I mean, that's just beyond awesome. And I seriously hope we do get to see something along those lines. And yeah, guys, that's all I really have for you this time around. Again, a really nice, solid episode. I was very pleased with this one. So, until next time, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at HoosierJedi. Until next time, take care and have a good one.